What is up, everybody? I am John Brecco, and I'm coming to you live because I started this YouTube channel and I wanted to share a little bit about my story, how I got into doing stand up. I figure, there's no better time to do it than right now, considering we are going through coronavirus. I'm not able to perform at a live show at the moment because most, if not all, comedy clubs are closed. I know all comedy clubs are closed in the city, and everything that I know of has been closed. So I figure no better time to share my story than right now. So, figure let's get down to it. I actually started doing stand up at a pretty miserable time in my life. My first show was about 2 months after I was supposed to get married. I was 2 months after, me and my ex fiance broke up. I won't share any names because I don't want to put that information out there. If you know me, you probably know who it is. But I'm not going to share any names for the sake of privacy. But yeah, we broke up about 2 months before I started. And the thing was, I had a lot of people tell me in my life that you should go do stand up, you should give it a shot. The first time I heard it was when I was 14 and I was sharing a story about me and a girl. And I guess the way I told it, because at the time I got bullied a lot and I think I wanted to seem like a cool kid when I told the story. But I think people told me then, I think, as a joke because they were just trying to make fun of me. But that was the first time I remember hearing it. And going into it later, I ended up having, a good friend group in college. We would always joke around. We would have a lot of fun going to different places around Jersey City because that's where I went to school. New York was also close by. And when we would joke around, I would get told that on occasion. And I wrote it off at first because I didn't think my jokes would be able to translate to the stage. So I didn't start thinking about it till I work at a station that I work at now called Hamilton Radio. I do a show there, The Round Table, 8 to 9 p.m. if you ever want to check it out. And I started going there, and there were a lot of comedy shows, especially when I first started. And I would see all these comedians going back and forth. And the thing is, when you're around people that crack jokes on each other, crack jokes in general, crack jokes there, that tends to be what you do. And the more you're around it, the more you do it. So, I never really had anyone tell me there that I should do it. But seeing them do it is what gave me the most thought to do it. So I finally decided after about a year of being there that, I should give it a shot. And that was one thing that convinced me. The other thing was I used to be friends with somebody that used to write, but she stopped. So I told her one day, if you start writing again and you show me, then I'll give stand up comedy a try. And she did. So I started reaching out to different people to try to see if I could get a gig somewhere. The first gig I had was at a place called Take Five. It's a coffee shop in Robbinsville, New Jersey, about 20 minutes from me. Unfortunately, it closed down now, but it was a great place to do comedy. I tried it for the first time. Shout out to Kurt Zimmerman for giving me the spot. He gave me around 10 minutes that night. I think it was better than it had any right to be, looking back on it, because I got on stage and I sold what I was trying to tell. And I think people were able to find a way to relate to it and able to laugh at it, really. And I remember the next two shows I did after that, I bombed. They were both open mics. I had I had no know-how of really to form my jokes. So that's what made it very hard if I wasn't selling it. It's very hard to be a storytelling comic. A lot of people that do stand up know this, but it's very hard to do because a lot of people have tendencies to draw their stories out, and I have a tendency to do that as well, which is why it takes me time to form jokes sometimes, because I have to find a way to trim the fat and make the story short. And I have this problem as well. So, I did my next few gigs after that. I slowly started getting better. I actually stopped doing it for 5 months before I performed at the Comedy Cove again. Anthony Crescenzo, shout out to him, invited me to do a gig on that show. And it wasn't even close to my best set, but it allowed me to get back out there. It allowed me to, get the nerves, a little bit more in check for next time I go on stage. And, after that, I started performing in New York late January. Again, shout out Evan Weiss, who let me perform on my first New York show. And then really the rest is history from there. I started reaching out to more and more people, and the more people I got to know, the more people, were giving me a chance, the more people were able to see my talent, especially the later I started doing it. And really, I've just had a lot of fun doing it ever since, especially, the past 2 years. And I actually recorded my first, online show today. So it'll be the first, online show that I'm doing. So I hope I have as much fun with that as I do the live shows, as much as I can't wait to get back to that. And yeah, I'm really just kind of trying to take this in stride, day at a time. I think, the way a lot of people are trying to handle it. I think I have it a little bit better than some others because I do still work. I am at Amazon. You know, I'm able to social distance there pretty well. I don't go looking to hug people or give them handshakes. Not that I'm really too worried about people being 6 feet or less away. I will tell you this: I refuse to wear that fucking mask. I'm not trying to go around looking like a fake ass brain surgeon. I think that's a little ridiculous. That's just my opinion. I think I'm taking all the necessary precautions I need to. I don't go out for really much other than necessities or work or my radio show that I do. And we only have 4 or 5 people in there at a time anyway. So, I take the normal precautions that I feel that I need. So, I think that I'm doing all right, and I think I'm able to find a way to adjust a little bit easier than most. But I do want to say I'm glad I had a job like that right now because I feel like I can help people, and I feel like I'm helping people, especially now, with the entertainment world being as crippled as it is. People can't go into studios. A lot of clubs and buildings are shut down. I feel like I'm able to find my way to help, which is great. But I really kind of just wanted to introduce myself, talk to you guys a little bit about my experiences in comedy, and it's really provided me with a lot of memories, a lot of stories, and it's just been a crazy journey. Some of my favorites are Eagles Bar, a show Bob Pearsall did. That was one of my favorites because not because of the set that I did. The set I did went well, but what made it one of my favorites was just the people there. The crowd was extremely nice. I didn't leave for about 4 hours after the show ended because people just kept talking to me and coming up to me. And it was a bitch because I had work the next morning, but I just love that environment where you can talk to different people, meet new people, and I think that's one of the things that, really keeps me coming back to doing stand up, just being able to get to know people, after that. Stand up comedy, I think, is a really good icebreaker, and it gets you to meet all these different people that you wouldn't be able to meet otherwise. So I think that's part of the reason why I keep going back for shows like that. Another one of my favorites I do want to share, Stand Up New York. My first ever show there I did was with the Comedy Mob, and to this day, that was one of my best ever shows, and that show was honestly essential in forming a lot of the jokes that I have now. You know, coronavirus has been a fucking gold mine, but after I did that show, I had a lot easier of a time with 5 to 7 minutes. I don't think I've struggled, to have enough material to get through it ever since. I've had so shows. I've had a couple that bombed since then, but I've never really struggled with putting a 5 to 7 minute set together. And like I said, the crowd there was also amazing. It was great to be able to talk to them after. I did some crowd work with some guys who I got to talk to after. I love talking to people, like I said, after sets, but especially when I do crowd work with people because, you kind of form a bond with somebody as you're doing it, and you kind of just want to say thank you. At least this is me. You know, you kind of want to say thank you for them just being a part of the show, being a good sport, all that jazz. And yeah, it goes back to the same point. I love being able to meet with new people and connect with new people, and this is a great way to do it. And the last one I wanted to share, I put three down. I made a little bit of an outline for this to do, which is something I don't normally do. But considering I have to do everything from my fucking living room or bedroom, might as well, right? The last one I want to share is Mohegan Sun. And the reason why I want to do that is because this is the only place where I have to go that I actually need a hotel for. Because, you know, with traffic, with rest stops, when you add all of that together, it can be a 5, 6 hour drive. With, just getting there by itself, it's between 4 and 5 hours usually, but, it's not a place where you can, just go and come back the next day. That doesn't work. You need a place to stay, even if it's on the way back. So I did that show for the first time in June. It was Jeff Wade's show, who's a great guy to do shows for. Really nice guy, really nice Connecticut comedian, and really great to work with overall. So I go over there, I do the show, great crowd. There's karaoke after, which caused me to hang out with another comedian and a group of people that he actually brought in from the bar, if I remember the story correctly. But it's something I never would have done otherwise. Also, somebody, said they were a fangirl of me. That's the first time I've ever heard that comment. It was very flattering. I hope I hear it again. I've heard, I'm the best comedian that they've seen that night. I've heard I just have a naturally funny vibe, I guess. I don't know how flattering that actually is, but, it's nice to, hear stuff that's related to being funny after a show. But, I hate doing karaoke, first of all. If you know anything about me, you know that karaoke is 100 times more terrifying for me than stand up. So, just the fact that, I'm doing karaoke with these people that I barely know, you know, you're not going to catch me doing that at any other time. And the last 3 times I've done it, 2 times have been after shows. The other time I did it was in Keats Bar in Manhattan. It was John Mowry's show, who doesn't live in New York anymore, but he lives in Florida right now, who's actually getting, I think, the worst state I know in the South that I know of. This could be 100% wrong, so don't even quote me on this. But they're probably the worst state in the South getting hit with it, you know, which does cause me to worry because my parents live down there too. They live in Naples. So, you know, hopefully he's doing okay, but thoughts and prayers with him also because he's a really great guy to know. And yeah, I got to meet a lot of other cool people there, and it was just a lot of fun. But right now, we're kind of dealing with coronavirus. I wanted to share with you guys about how I got into comedy and, about how I'm dealing with it, how, I hope you guys are dealing with it. I hope everybody else is taking the necessary precautions that they need to take. And I hope everybody is finding a way to manage and get through it. That's all I think anybody can really ask for at the end of the day. And, hopefully, me sharing my story is well received and it can be used in a positive way to try to get more people to create, to try to get people to find more things to do, whether it's, you know, posting, their creative stuff on social media, posting videos like this about sharing their story, and, just finding a way to get through each day in general. And, I respect any way of trying to get through it. I respect, binging Netflix. I respect buying weights and lifting them with them. Me personally, I've had to work with my spare tire at home for my car and a cat tree that me and my girlfriend never got to build. And, like everybody else, I try to just find a way to get through each day. Like I said before, I think it's a little bit easier for me to do it than others, but I just hope everybody out there is, try at least trying to find a way to do it. So, I hope you guys appreciate hearing my story, appreciate some of the memories that I have from doing stand up. I hope to make a lot more of them, through online shows as well as when we finally, go back to doing live shows again. And I hope you appreciate it, hope you resonate with it a little bit, and I appreciate just being able to share it. Stay safe, stay home. Let's all get through this together. God bless, guys. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you watch some more of the stuff that I put up. All right? Hopefully I put stuff up soon, and hopefully I talk to you all soon. Deuces.